What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Darren, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy at the Fashion and Fragrance channel. If you're into fashion and fragrance, I hope you won't mind subscribing to the channel. And if you do that, make sure you enable your notifications. That way you get updated or notified anytime a new video is uploaded on this channel. So on today, guys, I want to be talking about 10 fragrances, 10 recommendations that I will never stop recommending. There are certain fragrance DNAs that I think that just kind of transcend time. See, of course, Acqu Di Gio, a fragrance that came out in the early mid-90s, and it is still a relevant scent DNA today. So I don't think that it would ever be inappropriate to recommend a fragrance like that or a fragrance like Acqu Di Gio Profondo to somebody, because again, I think that at the end of the day, it's a fragrance that's going to last and it's something that's going to be relevant for a long time. I have 10 fragrances here in my collection that I absolutely love. And these are 10 fragrances that I think have that same unique ability to kind of transcend time. And yeah, so these are 10 fragrances I have in my collection that I love and that I'll never stop recommending to other folks when they ask me for a fragrance recommendation. So if you want to see what's on my list, you know the routine, keep it locked right here. We'll be right back.
The Bowtie Fragrance Guy.
All right, we are back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's go ahead and jump right into the list today. The first fragrance that I have is one that I have loved from first sniff. It's one of my first loves, I would say, in fragrances. And again, it's one, of course, I'll never stop recommending. From the House of Creed is this one, Original Santal. Original Santal. My, how I cherish this 4-ounce bottle. This batch is from 2015, and I've slowed down on a lot of my Creed fragrances that I have that were created in these 4-ounce bottles, because to me that's when the fragrances themselves were at their absolute best. I love this fragrance. It's fresh. There's a little bit of spiciness to it. It's very, very clean. You know, there's some lavender here. There's some cinnamon. There's some juniper berries. There's tonka bean, there's vanilla. Again, one of my favorite fragrances in my entire collection. Of course, you guys that have been following me, especially from my earlier days doing fragrance reviews, you guys know how much I love this fragrance. And it's one that I will never stop recommending to others. It's really good. So check it out, guys. Again, this one is from the House of Creed, one of my absolute favorites of all time. This is Original Santal. All right, guys, this next fragrance is just a super versatile fragrance that just simply put, it just smells freaking great. Okay, and you guys can see that my recommendations are working because a lot of NFL players have been listening to me. You guys missed my video where I talked about covered 10 NFL players and fragrances they're wearing. You'll know what I'm talking about. But anyway, this fragrance comes from the house of Bond Number 9. This is called Lafayette Street. Now, Lafayette Street is a fragrance, again, that is just, it just smells great. Again, there's no way for me to really articulate it other than to say that this fragrance smells absolutely phenomenal, man. You have some sweetness in here that comes from tonka bean and vanilla. Two of my favorite notes that are used to give a sweet scent profile to a fragrance. You have that, you have apple, you have coriander in this as well, and some ambroxan. Mass appealing, smells great, definitely gets the job done. To me, very inoffensive. And everybody that I've come into contact with, for the most part, have loved the way that this thing smells. One of those really high compliment getting fragrances for me. So I'll never stop recommending this fragrance because I think it's a really, really safe one to recommend. It's from the house of Bond Number 9. And again, this is called Lafayette Street. All right, this next fragrance has come into my life here over the last year and has moved into the conversation, obviously, of fragrances that I love that I'll never stop recommending. It's from the house of Maison Sir, and of course, it's this one I talk about it all the time, Eau de Gingembre. It's just so easy to wear because it's so fresh, clean, and uplifting. And you can never go wrong, in my humble opinion, with fresh and clean. Now, sometimes when we get into the heavier fragrances, the darker fragrances, with the heavier scent profiles, with oud and things of that nature, obviously, those are sometimes a very acquired taste. But a fragrance like this, 9 out of 10 people you come into contact with are going to find it inoffensive and think that it probably smells really, really good. Ginger water, again, is what this is translated to, the name of the fragrance. And again, it's just a very fresh ginger fragrance, a little bit of spice there, but again, phenomenal. Check it out from the House of Mais and Sir, Eau de Janeiro. All right, this next fragrance is also turning into a very somewhat of a classic kind of scent. And it's from the House of Mancera. This is cedratboise. Cedratboise. Another one just like a fragrance that's compared to, you know, think about the Creed Aventuses, you think about the Hashibats of the world, any of those fragrances that have that citrusy, bergamot, pineapple kind of combination in it. There's a nice leathery nuance to this fragrance as well. And like I said, it just smells great. Now, I've said on a previous video that I don't think this smells that much like Creed Aventus, and I stand by that. You know, but you definitely get that nice burst of citrus, bergamot in the opening, that leathery nuance, and that creamy sandalwood in this fragrance, and it's absolutely dynamite. Another one that garners me a lot of compliments is from the House of Mancera. Again, this is called cedratboise. All right, this next fragrance actually comes from the Christian Dior's private collection of fragrances, and this one is called Ombre Nui. Ombre Nui, and this fragrance features the note of rose, pink pepper, this stuff is amazing. It's absolutely amazing, man. Again, I can't say enough good things about it. That rose pink pepper combination gives a very clean floral nuance to this fragrance in the opening, and then of course you get ambergris in here. Well, of course that gives that amber kind of feel to the scent. But again, it's just a standout fragrance. It smells really, really good on skin, and it's one obviously that I feel very, very comfortable recommending to other people. You know, if you like the note of rose, this is more one of those fresh, clean rose fragrances. So again, I think it's really, really safe to recommend it. And of course, that's why I love it personally. It's from the House of Christian Dior. Again, this is called Ombre Nui. All right, the next fragrance on my list today, of fragrances, 10 fragrances I'll never stop recommending, come from the House of YSL, their private collection of fragrances, and this one is called Caban. Caban. Now this to me, again, really, really good. I know, of course, a lot of you know about Tuxedo, which is a standout patchouli scent in its own right. But this is one as well that I really, really enjoy. You have rose in this, you have tonka bean, you have patchouli in this as well. Some of my favorite notes. And of course, the main note to my nose is sandalwood. So this is really a sandalwood based scent to my nose. And I love the note of sandalwood. Sandalwood is of course, a woody note that is really, really creamy. It really brings a creamy nature to most fragrances that you're going to find it in. And that's exactly what it does here. So check it out. It's from the House of YSL. Again, a standout fragrance I'll never stop recommending. This is called Caban. All right, this next fragrance is one I've talked about a lot over the years on this channel. And I think, as I said in the opening, this is definitely one of those scent DNAs I think that is always going to be relevant. It is never going to go out of style. It's from the House of Tom Ford. This is Oud Wood. Oud Wood from Tom Ford, of course, another fragrance from a private collection, the private blend collection of Tom Ford. Oh, man. It just smells phenomenal. Okay, now a lot of people have talked about a lot of the alternatives to this fragrance, but you know, you really can't, in my opinion, beat the real thing. This is a fragrance that is really good to recommend to people. It's kind of like an introduction to the note of oud. Now the oud is here, but again, it's not over the top. It's not skanky. It's not animalic, so I don't think it will really turn anybody off. It smells really, really great. You know what I mean? So again, perfect for almost any situation, whether it's a date night, whether it's like be good for an office fragrance. Again, one of those super versatile scent DNAs. So check it out. It's from the House of Tom Ford. Again, this one is called Oud Wood. All right, this next fragrance is one I've talked about a lot this year. Again, I recommend this to people all the time. It's from the house of Initial Parfums, and this is called Blessed Baraka. Blessed Baraka, and this is really a simple fragrance, but it features some notes that I really love. There's some sandalwood in here, there's cinnamon, and there is musk. Oh man, when I smell it, it's like I can't tell you guys how good this stuff is. It is just something that you have to put your nose on, and that's why I'm always going to be recommending it to people that I come into contact with, because it is quite the experience. Simple note breakdown, but nonetheless creates an amazing accord of notes that just produce what I feel is one of the best fragrances in my collection. This one is called Blessed Baraka. All right, the next fragrance that I want to talk about, this is a fragrance that if anybody really wants to understand, in my opinion, what fragrance is and the art of fragrance is all about, we talk about high quality ingredients, creativity, and things of that nature. This is a fragrance that I like to recommend that people put their nose on, because you're going to get all that and more in one fragrance. This is from the house of Wase, and this one is called Jubilation 25. Jubilation 25, you get spices, of course, frankincense, so it's incensey. You get some spices in here, you get cinnamon, you get honey. You have this beautiful blackberry note in the opening of the fragrance as well. You got some immortelle, some patchouli. Again, a laundry list of notes of Pomponax. That's where the smokiness comes from. But this thing is just dynamite. Again, you smell the quality in here, and you can really appreciate the creativity of fragrances. This whole art of fragrance and perfumery, to me, can be summed up really well just by taking a closer look at this fragrance and putting your nose to it. So that's what I utilize this for as it pertains to recommendations. It's dynamite. It's a classic for a reason. It's from the house of Wase. Put your nose on Jubilation 25. All right, guys, the next fragrance and the last fragrance on the list, this one comes from the house of Parfums de Marly. I will never stop recommending this thing, and this one is called Leighton. This is called Leighton. I tell you guys, when I first heard about this one, this is one of the fragrances I've wanted in my collection for a long time, and I was so happy when I finally got it. Now they've come out with Leighton Exclusive, which in its own right is a dynamite scent. They added some coffee and oud to that one, but I still love the original Leighton. Apple, of course, cardamom in this scent as well. I think there's some vanilla on the dry now. This thing is one of those fragrances that I love to recommend to people that's looking to get into niche fragrances. Again, very mass appealing. It smells absolutely phenomenal. And again, I think it's something that a person that is getting that initial, introduction to transitioning from designer to niche fragrances, I think this is a safe one to recommend, because I think it would ease them into the whole idea of niche fragrances. So check it out. It's from the house of Parfums de Marly. One of my favorites as well. This is called Leighton. But that's it, guys. That is my time, man. I hope you enjoyed this list today, as I gave you 10 fragrances in my collection that I will never stop recommending. As always, I sincerely appreciate your time. I appreciate your attention to these videos. I know you guys don't have to watch, but you do. And I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget to make sure you take a few moments to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you're sharing these videos out to some other folks out there that you think could use this information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darren. I'm the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side.